Hi everyone, Petrik here. Today's video will be about my July book haul. Yeah, once again, this is a bit late, but I want to showcase all the books that I got last month, and I will just start immediately. Let's start from the books that I bought first. And the first one, this is actually thanks to many of you because this is, tada! This is My Hero Academia Volume 1 until Volume 20. So it is a huge box set. This box set contained Volume 1 until Volume 20 of the manga volume. And because I already own Volume 21 until Volume 37, now I possess all the available volumes in My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi. This is one of my favorite manga series, a great superhero manga series, and it is about to be completed soon. The available chapters, I think, will be ending in the 5th of August. So yeah, it is really close to the end. And honestly, I got this one using my Amazon gift card. So I want to say thank you so much to every one of you who keep on using my Amazon affiliate links. So yeah, it means a lot to me. And then I also got a copy of Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. This one, I bought it. I think it was from, I actually forgot where I bought this one, but I put it in my friend's place, my patron's place, Arliss. So once again, it is only thanks to Arliss that I managed to acquire a copy of this one. Honestly, I don't know when I will get around to this, but this is a beautiful cover art, and I heard a lot of great things about this. I think historical fantasy duology. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this someday, including this one. This is, I think, a historical fiction or literary fiction. This is Beartown by Fredrick Backman. I bought this one because I heard, again, many great things about Fredrick Backman's books. I have watched A Man Called Ove. Really loved that one. But I think the only book that I have read from him, it was And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer. It is a novella. It is beautiful and also very powerful novella about Alzheimer. And you should read that one. But yeah, it is very powerful. I want to say thank you so much to my friend for recommending that book. So yeah, those are really the books that I bought in the month of July, that arrived in the month of July. And next, I want to show these 3 books that I got from, again, my patron. I mean, this is really generous of him. I cannot say the name because he doesn't want to be named, but I just want to say thank you so much for sending me a copy of these 2 books. This is by KJ Parker, Purple and Black, and also Mightier Than the Sword. Both of these are actually published by Subterranean Press, and I believe these are novellas. I haven't read anything by KJ Parker yet, but again, this is one of those situations where I think it's only a matter of time. I heard a lot of great things about The Folding Knife and pretty much all of KJ Parker's books. So yeah, I look forward to reading this. And the same generous person also sent me a copy of the Midworld Press edition of The Black Tongue Thief by Christopher Buhlman. This is a gorgeous edition with a cover art and also interior illustrations, all of them done by David Palumbo. And I'm a fan of David Palumbo's oil painting illustrations. I think he did such a great job on The Black Tongue Thief, on the interior artworks, and also especially on Boy's Life by Robert McCammon, the Santa Press edition. That is so stunning. And with that in mind, I'm really happy that I got a copy of this, and I want to say thank you so much to you who sent me a copy of The Black Tongue Thief and also KJ Parker Subterranean Press books. Yeah, this is a beautiful acquisition, and The Black Tongue Thief, in my opinion, is one of my favorite fantasy books. It is so fun, it is great, and the interior illustrations definitely enhance that experience. I'm already looking forward to doing a second read of The Black Tongue Thief using this Midworld Press edition. And moving on to the self-published fantasy books that I got last month, and because I was just talking about interior artwork, let's start with this book that has interior illustrations. And this is for The Dryad's Crown by David Hopkins. Now, take a look at this cover art, but behind this, there is quite a big production because it has a map by Francesca Beralt, which is, well, she is one of my favorite cartographer, my favorite fantasy cartographer, actually. And also, there is this beautiful interior illustrations by Daniel Irving, I think, or Panslinger. But yeah, there are many of them, and they are so gorgeous. And it seems like this one will be a Slavic-inspired fantasy. There is the name Baba Yaga here, but yeah, this is another interior illustrations from Daniel Irving. And yeah, I look forward to reading this one. There have been quite plenty positive reviews on The Dryad's Crown, and I want to say thank you so much to David Hopkins for sending me a copy of this book. And then after that, I also got a copy of The Primal Fury by Noel Traver. And yeah, this is the Trials of the Berserker, the first book in the Trials of the Berserker. And I don't know too much about this one, except that, I mean, take a look at this. This is an angry bear, a bear warrior. And the first time I saw this cover art, I remember that it was on Twitter, and then people were so happy and excited about it. And I think the cover art done by Texo, I think he did a great job on it. It kind of reminded me of League of Legends. And at the same time, I think the artist really has done some artwork for the League of Legends. So yeah, looking forward to reading this, and thank you so much to Noel Traver for sending me a copy of this one. And then after that, I got a copy again of The Fall of the Giants by Gregory Kontasis. This is a Greek-inspired epic fantasy series, and this is the second book in the series, in the Dance of Light series. And then this cover art reminded me of The Shadow of the Gods, and I don't know too much about this one, except that, as I said, this is a Greek-inspired epic fantasy. But unlike the first hardcover that I got, this one has this spray edges being put into it. So thank you so much to Gregory again for sending me a copy of this one. And then the remaining two books, self-published fantasy books that I got, the first one is The Knife of Sorrows by E.J. Doble. This is, I think, a novella or a short novel that happens after the end of the second book, The Horns of Grief, which I really need to get around to reading, because I have read the first prequel novella and also the first novel in the Blood and Steel saga. And this one, it is quite important to not look into this too much, look into the premise too much, because this is, again, it should happen after what happened at Horns of Grief, and I think it contains spoilers. So I look forward to reaching this eventually. But again, thank you so much to E.J. Doble for this review copy. And finally, before we move on to special editions, this is Soul Cage by Luke Schultz. And yeah, this is a book about where the souls are the currency and death is the price. And if I'm not mistaken, this main character suddenly became the strongest magician in the world. And then he has to learn how to utilize his power. And yeah, that's all I know about Soul Cage. But I think generally, if you check out all the reviews for Schultz's books, well, all of them are very well received, including his debut novel, this one. And yeah, I look forward to reading his books eventually. But again, thank you so much for all this. Self-published fantasy authors keep on sending me books to read and review. And for the special edition part, let's start with one of my favorite self-published fantasy books of all time. And it is a copy of Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer. Yeah, this is the slipcase. And take a look at this. Ta-da! And of course, we have to take a look at the 4H painting. Woohoo! So beautiful, right? And this contains gilded edges. But what is so special about this one, other than the fact that it features Mitsune binding and also this gorgeous end paper and interior artworks by Sutiwa Tejakampu? Well, you have to take a look at these edges. Let's see if you can see it here. So yeah, that looks beautiful, right? I didn't know that this was possible, so this is definitely something new to me. But yeah, I love Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer. I think it is a wonderful standalone novel. Not sure when the sequel is actually coming out. I thought it was supposed to come out in the month of May, but apparently it's the month of July now. But whenever Champion of the Fallen is ready, I will be reading it for sure, because I just love this one. This is Dragon Rider epic fantasy with a lot of heart, and I think many readers who love classic epic fantasy will really love Dragon Mage by M.L. Spencer. And finally, this is the last special edition for self-published fantasy book, and this is for Sufficiently Advanced Magic by Wraithmarked Creative. And I believe out of all of their production, this is the best one so far, with this beautiful cover art by Daniel Kamarudin. This is the spine with this foiling by Sean Ticking, and finally at the back, we have another artwork by Daniel Kamarudin. And yeah, it contained this beautiful end paper. Every artwork inside this edition, all of them are illustrated by Daniel Kamarudin, including the 10 artworks, the 10 interior black and white artwork inside sufficiently advanced magic. So yeah, thank you so much, really. And I love sufficiently advanced magic. I think the first two books, this one and also the sequel, On the Shoulder of Titan, they are both really good. But I think the series kind of like plummet a bit on the third book. I still need to continue, but I don't know when I will do that. But this is absolutely gorgeous. And again, as I said, this is the most beautiful production from Wraithmarked so far. And I think that will be topped really soon by Legends and Lattes. And yeah. And now we move on to traditionally published books that I got last month. Let's start with the special edition first, because I was just talking about special edition. Let's start with the books I got from the Broken Binding. The first two books, there are Red Seas and the Red Skies, and also Republic of Thieves by Scott Lynch. The second and the third book in the Gentleman Bastards series. And this features edges by Katrina Paints. And not gonna lie, I think these edges actually look much better in person rather than on the mock-up or digital artwork. Yeah, it looks much better in person. And also these books, they contain end paper artwork by Fran Vegas, such as this one. And also this. Ta-da! Yeah, it's beautiful. I really like this and I love this series. The Gentleman Bastards is one of my favorite ongoing series, and I hope it won't be too long before we get Thorn of Amber Lane, but it seems like there is no sign of it happening anytime soon. So yeah. And then I also got a copy of Artemis by Andy Weir. This is the second book in the Broken Binding sci-fi subscription, and I haven't read Artemis yet. I really love The Martian. I enjoyed Project Hail Mary, but I haven't read Artemis. Many people said that this is the weakest book by Andy Weir. Well, I look forward to finding out whether that will come true or not. And finally, the last Broken Binding book I got last month, it is The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. I still haven't read anything by Samantha Shannon yet, but I am a fan of Ivan Belikoff's illustration, and well, I'm kind of collecting many books with his illustrations. And this is the beautiful edges. And then moving on to the standard hardcover and paperback, the first one that I got from, this is sent to me by the author. This is The Children of Gods and Fighting Men. The first book in the Guile Song trilogy or series, I think. But yeah, I am looking forward to reading this one. Hopefully within this month, I hope that will be possible. But again, as always, it depends on my reading schedule and also my life. But this is an Irish historical fantasy series, and I heard so many wonderful things about this series, especially about the second book and the soon-to-be released third book, The Land of the Living and the Dead. And yeah, looking forward to reading this. I'm not too well versed in Irish mythology and Irish history, and well, maybe this one will spark my interest to learn more about them. Usually that happens when I read a great historical fiction series. Moving on after that, I got this book. This is one of my most anticipated debut, and it is Fall Days by Genoveva Dimova. This is sent to me by the author, and thank you so much to Gen for sending me a copy of Fall Days. This cover art is done by Robina Kai, and this is a Slavic, I think it is a Slavic inspired epic fantasy. But yeah, I'm so looking forward to reading this. The receptions have been super positive. And this is the first book in the duology, a witch compendium of monsters. And the second book is coming out in the month of October. If all goes according to plan, I do want to read both books within this year. I don't have too many fantasy debut left that I want to read before the end of this year, and this is certainly one of them. And then after that, I got this book from Angry Robot. This is The Last Shield by Cameron Johnston, supposedly advertised as gender band Die Hard. That's all I know, but the Broken Binding edition of this edition, it looks so stunning. The Broken Binding edition of this book, it looks beautiful with the cover art done by Andrew Maleski. But yeah, looking forward to reading Cameron Johnston. I think it's kind of crazy that I haven't read anything by him yet, especially because many people told me that his books will work well to those of us who love reading grimdark fantasy. Moving on after this, the next 5 books I'm going to show, all of them are published by Orbit Books. So thank you so much to Orbit for always sending me review copies to read and review. The first one is for The Goddess of the River by Vaishnavi Patel. This is, again, I think a Mahabharata inspired story, and at the back it is mentioned a powerful and deeply moving reimagining of the story of Ganga, the goddess of the river, and her mortal son. This is a masterful tale of duty, destiny, and the unwavering bond between mother and child. And her first book, I think Kaikeyi, has received, again, great receptions, especially from booktubers. and I still need to get around to that, and so I will decide whether I will read Kaikei or The Goddess of the River first. But living in Indonesia, I will say that I do get to learn some stuff about Indian stories, Indian mythology, and also Indian history. And then moving on after that, this is How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying by Django Wexler. And for this, I heard a bit of a mixed reception about this book. I'm still not sure whether this one will interest me or not. I think this is a bit of an isekai or portal fantasy, but also mixed with, I think, lit RPG. But, well, I'm a fan of Django Wexler's books, especially Ashes of the Sun, and also, I forgot the name of the series, Shadow Campaign. Yeah, the Shadow Campaign series. I'm a fan of those books, and hopefully this one will click with me as well. But I think I will have to finish the Burning Blade and Silver Eye trilogy first. And the same goes for The Fire Within Them by Matthew Ward. I have read only his debut novel, The Legacy of Ash, and ever since then, I still haven't read anything by Matthew Ward yet. This is beautiful cover art though by John Wilson. And again, looking forward to reading this. The first book though, the premise and everything about it really sounded like Mistborn, The Final Empire. I don't know about the execution, but the premise, it sounded really similar to Mistborn, The Final Empire. Who knows? It could still be good though. But yeah, looking forward to reading that too eventually. And the last two books I got from Orbit Books. This is one of my most anticipated release. This is The Mercy of Gods by James S.A. Corey, the two authors behind the Expanse series, one of them being Daniel Abraham, one of my favorite authors. And yeah, as I said, I really want to get around to reading this one. This is the first book in the Captives War, I think, trilogy. Not sure whether that will be extended to a longer series or not, but I think, well, it depends on success, I think. But I'm a fan of Daniel Abraham's books. I have read every fantasy and sci-fi books by him except the Kithamar trilogy and also this one. In the case of the Kithamar trilogy, I'm just waiting for it to be finished next year, and then I will get around to that. But yeah, I think before that, I will read this one first, The Mercy of Gods. Fingers crossed within this month. And finally, the last book I got from Orbit last month, it is The Last Song of Penelope by Claire Knott. This is the conclusion to a Song of Penelope series, and one of my co-bloggers, Celeste, gave every book in this series, all of them, a 5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, seeing that my tastes do align a lot with Celeste, one of my co-bloggers, as I said, then I think it is a good sign that I do have to read this trilogy, especially because I haven't read anything by Claire Knott yet, and I heard so many wonderful things about her books. Finally, the last book that I got, this is a book that I have read and really, really love. This is The Failures by Benjamin Lyer. Despite the title of the book, this, in my opinion, is definitely a success. Yeah, I have posted a full spoiler review of The Failures by Benjamin Lyer, and if you want to know my full thoughts about it, make sure to check it out. But if you want to read something that is rich in history, world building, lore, and also the blend of multiple genres such as fantasy, sci-fi, horror, post-apocalypse, you cannot go wrong with reading The Failures by Benjamin Lyer, especially if you love the manga series Blame by Tsutomu Nihei. This book definitely got that vibe. So yeah, I think this is actually my pick for the best debut of the year so far, at least from the ones that I have read anyway. I still have about 2 or 3 debuts that I want to read this year. And now we move on to the final portion of today's book haul video, and of course it is once again a book sent to me by Yen Press and Ize Press. Again, very thankful for always sending me some of my favorite ongoing manhwa right now. So let's start with a bang. The first one is Omniscient Reader's View Poem, and yeah, this is the 3rd volume. I love this manhwa series. I have read this volume, and I really enjoyed the first 3 volumes, but again, I haven't caught up to the recent chapters yet. But recently, it seems like the popularity of Omniscient Readers has just skyrocketed even more because of the news about the live-action adaptation and also the anime adaptation. So I think it is only a matter of time before this become even more and more popular. So yeah, but this is for good reasons, because this book, it contains a great premise, beautiful illustration, and also great storyline. So yeah, make sure to pick it up. And again, I talked about My Hero Academia earlier in the video. This is for those of you who enjoyed My Hero Academia as well. This is the 4th volume of Jungle Juice. This is about students who acquired superpower to the ability of a bug. Like the main character, he can channel the ability of a dragonfly. I have read only the first 2 volumes, but I haven't continued past it yet. Hopefully, the rest of the series will be great though. The illustrations are beautiful, that's for sure. And then I also got a copy of The World After the Fall. This is volume number 6 by Undead Gamja. And apparently Gamja is a potato, so this is by Undead Potato. What a name for an author, right? But yeah, this is again another manhwa series that I didn't plan to start reading, and then it was sent to me by Ize Press. And apparently this is quite good. Just like Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint, the news is out now that this one is getting an anime adaptation as well. So yeah, we are starting to see more manhwa getting more animation adaptation. And then I got Business Proposal Volume 5. This is a romantic comedy. Again, I have watched the live action adaptation. It was really fun. And again, if you are somehow someone who like watching K-drama, you cannot go wrong with trying Business Proposal. It is a fun one. And finally, I got this copy of Unholy Blood, the 2nd volume. And I remember someone on my YouTube channel said that this is a must try if you love vampire story, and a great vampire story. A dark one with great story, characters, and storyline. And well, I'm a fan of vampire story, and I look forward to reading this too soon, really soon. Finally, I got a copy of Babel, and apparently that's all the books that I got last month. So yeah, as I said, that's a lot of books. I have no idea how many that is, probably more than 50, but again, I could be wrong. So yeah, that's really it for today's book haul video. Again, I want to say thank you so much to all of you who keep on tuning in to my book haul video. And again, as I said in the beginning of this video, thank you to all of you who use my Amazon affiliated links. Because of that, I managed to buy the box set of My Hero Academia. And let me know what you think about all the books that I got last month. And of course, do tell me what books you got last month, how many books you got, and which one was your favorite acquisition. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support. Bye-bye. Lastly, I want to say thank you so much once again to all my patrons who keep on supporting me.